Yo, what is good YouTube? I am Richie Kim, and today I'm going to be bringing you all the performance review on the Puma Scoot Zeros 2. Before we get started, if you all enjoy sneaker content just like this, please do me a favor, hit that subscribe button down below and hit that bell notification button so you never miss another video just like this one. Also, if you did want to buy a pair of these, I'll leave a link for you down in the description box below. If you do use that link to purchase a pair, it does help me out directly, which is very much appreciated. But anyways, let's get right into it. As always, starting off with the traction, the Puma Scoot Zeros 2 features pretty much a full-length herringbone traction pattern. And within that herringbone traction, you do have like this neat little manual transmission design from 1 to 7, which is supposed to like signify like Scoot Henderson's like speed. And yeah, surprisingly, the traction on here is very, very good. This is a very tacky rubber, so I was a little skeptical at first just because, tacky rubbers and dust usually don't mix very well. But what I can say is on clean courts, this thing is very, very good. You're going to have a pretty damn good stop. I wouldn't say it's like an extremely hard bite, but you still have a very, very good stop. No issues on clean courts. If you're playing on your moderately dusty to really dusty courts, honestly, I didn't really have any issues there as well, which is surprising. If you're playing on those moderately dusty to really heavy dusty courts, honestly, the traction was still pretty good on those courts as well. This traction does pick up a little bit of dust, but I would say it's definitely on the minimal side. And if you do wanna, just do a light wipe, you'll get that dust off really quick and easily, and you're gonna be good to go again. So yeah, I mean, traction on here was surprisingly really good. I still will say that it just doesn't feel like it has the hardest bite, but it still does have a hard bite. So yeah, traction on this shoe is very good pretty much across all court conditions. So moving on to the cushion, the Puma Scoot Zeros 2 features a full-length nitro foam cushion, or a full-length nitro foam midsole, I should say. And this has pretty much been used in a bunch of, Pumas as of late. And I would say it's a decent feeling foam. I don't think it really does anything special, I guess. In the heel, you do get a little bit of compression. You do have like a very slight bounce and, adequate impact protection. As you move towards the forefoot, it does thin out and it obviously gets more caged. So you're going to have a little bit more court feel responsiveness and a little bit less of that bounce and impact protection. I would say court feel and responsiveness in here though isn't the best. It's good enough. Like you'll still feel like pretty quick and shifty, but obviously it's nothing compared to some of the super court feel shoes like the AE1 Low or Sabrina 2s or something along the lines of those. Like those, you just feel like you're sitting right on top of the ground, whereas in this shoe you definitely know that there's something in between your foot and the ground. But still, overall, cushion setup is like pretty decent. Like I don't think it's anything special. It's pretty much what we've come to know from Puma's nitro foam. So yeah, definitely not like very bouncy, not a lot of impact protection, but definitely good enough for most people. And I would say that this is more of a guard focused like type of cushion setup. So yeah, for me it's fine, nothing really too special, but yeah, it's just nitro foam, so it is what it is. So moving on to the materials, I don't know what's going on with the materials in the shoe, but the Scoot Zeros 2 features a bunch of different materials ranging from textile and synthetics. So like, yeah, the various parts of the shoe just have like these random hits of textile, like right here on the lateral side. And on the medial side, you do have like this screen mesh right here. But then on top of it, you have like these layers of like thick rubbery fuse material. And I don't know, it just doesn't feel the best. Like I personally don't like the way that the synthetic materials feel on the shoe. You do have like this synthetic material and like kind of suede material, I guess, around where the eyelets are, just to reinforce this area. Moving towards the tongue, you do have like a mesh tongue that changes into like a synthetic portion at the top. And yeah, that doesn't feel great as well. I would say you have like adequate padding. It's not too much, not too little. So if you do like to crank down the laces, you won't feel the laces digging into your foot. You do also have these like wide flat laces, which also helps with that. One thing I will say about this tongue though, which is actually really, really annoying, not from like comfort wise or anything, but just from the look. Like every time I look down at the shoes, it's not a pretty sight. And that's because this tongue just like folds in on itself once you actually crank the laces. Yeah, and I don't know, it doesn't look good, and it just kind of makes the shoe feel a little bit cheap. So yeah, I mean, overall, the material usage on the shoe, like, it's interesting to say the least. I'm not sure if other colorways will kind of have like this same design element. Maybe it'll just be all synthetic or all textile, but this like half and half, or like whatever they're doing here, like, I really don't like it because from quality standpoint, it doesn't feel great. But however, when it comes to, the performance, it does get the job done just fine. So moving on to the fit, I will say I do think these Scoot Zeros 2 do run true to size for the most part. I'm a slightly wide footer, I went true to size, and I felt perfectly fine. Maybe just a little bit of pressure up in this forefoot area, but not really that much at all. Maybe if you have narrow feet, you can probably go down a half size if you want like a super snug fit. But I think in general, most people go true to size. True to size is gonna be your best bet. Besides that, there really isn't like too much dead space up in the toe box area. You do have a half booty upper, so it's as close of a one-to-one fit as possible without it just being like a complete sock-like shoe. And yeah, I mean, I would say this isn't like the most actual snug feeling shoe, but it is definitely nice and snug enough. So yeah, I mean, overall the fit in this shoe is good. It's just, it's nothing special, honestly. So moving on to the support, I really didn't have any issues when it comes to the support in this shoe. You do have an internal heel counter. I wouldn't say this heel area is like sculpted too much, but I still didn't have any heel slippage in the shoe. My heel wasn't shifting around. So yeah, I would say your heel is definitely locked in and you're not gonna have any containment issues in the back part of the shoe. In terms of the side-to-side movement on the footbed, you're gonna be covered there as well. Like I said earlier, the materials, although they don't feel the best in terms of the quality, they do get the job done in terms of the performance just fine. And this is kind of where those materials come into play, because the materials do a great job of making sure your foot is not sliding around on that footbed. Moving on to the lateral stability of the shoe, you're gonna be covered there as well. This is a fairly wide base, and this midsole does protrude out just a little bit to kind of form like a pseudo outrigger, so you're going to be covered there as well. And then when it comes to torsional rigidity and stability, there is a shank in here. This is a fairly stiff and rigid shoe, so you are also covered on that front as well. So yeah, I mean, I really didn't have any issues when it comes to the support in the shoe. I would say it's pretty much what you would expect, nothing too extra, and obviously it definitely has the bare minimum. So yeah, I would say the support in this shoe has pretty much everything that you need and nothing that you don't. So the Puma Scoot Zeros 2 retails for $110, and for $110, like, I would still say that this is like a solid pickup. Personally, this is not something that would be in my rotation just because there are a lot of other great shoes out there. But for the $110 price point, like, I would say it's still solid. Me personally, I would say this is probably like a $100 shoe, but I understand this is a signature shoe. And also, maybe it's just because of this colorway, like it is a 2K colorway, which is like an exclusive or limited color or collaboration. So maybe that's why it's 110. But yeah, me personally, I would kind of price this at that $100 price point. But yeah, it's still a solid shoe. It does pretty much everything well. There's just, in my opinion, nothing special about the shoe. So yeah, I mean, if that's something that you're looking for, like, this is still a very solid performer. But obviously around that price point, you could probably find something with a little bit more tech. So yeah, it is what it is. The Scoot Zeros 2 is still a fine shoe. It's a solid shoe and a big improvement on the Puma Scoot Zeros 1. And yeah, I mean, out of Puma's offerings, like, I would still say this is up there out of like their current rotation or their current lineup. So yeah, if you all wanted to buy a pair of these, I'll leave a link for you down in the description box below. But that's pretty much it for this performance review. If you all like this video, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button down below, and please hit that thumbs up button for me. Leave a comment, it really does help me out. Check out these videos over here, and that's pretty much it. Until next time, peace.